This is the MESS, a brand new effects pedal from Polyend. I wanted to make a video about this pedal because of one word: sequencer. You see, the MESS's big claim to fame is that it allows you to program sequences that change the way the effects work over time. This is something I've wanted forever, so I was pretty eager to check it out. I've had this pedal for just over a week, and I feel like I understand it pretty well at this point. Rather than being really prescriptive about how this video is going to play out, I'm just going to turn the camera on and yeah, let's see what happens. Okay, so I've chosen a super simple patch over on the Polyend synth. Let's turn on this pedal. You see how there are 4 boxes, each of which says off. This pedal can have up to 4 effects turned on at the same time. Right now we're starting with a brand new preset, so all the effects are turned off. Let's choose our first effect. To switch between effects, we just turn this knob. As you can see, there's a huge number to choose from. It can actually be a little overwhelming. Right now, because we don't have the sequencer enabled, any changes we make to these knobs will immediately be heard. It's basically acting like a regular multi-effect pedal. That's cool. I like the pitch shifter a lot. Let's add another effect in. Maybe one of these filters. This formant filter is pretty cool. Okay, now let's add some reverb. I'm going to put this in slot 4. I usually put reverb as the last thing in an effects chain. So big. There are a bunch of different reverb algorithms, by the way. It's really cool. Okay, so now that we've got 3 effects picked out, let's try to sequence them. We'll start by working with the formant filter on slot 2. You'll notice that the moment I pressed the play button, these lights started to move, indicating which step we were on. Right now we're not hearing the effect of the formant filter at all, because we haven't turned any of the steps on yet. Let's turn some of the steps on. Let's also maybe turn the reverb down so we can better hear what we're doing. So the way it works is, the effect is only on when the playhead is over one of those lighted up squares. Each effect has at least one parameter that can be automated on a step-by-step basis. Here I'm going to try to automate the specific vowel sounds. Let's try to do the same thing but with the pitch shifter. The main parameter one can automate here is, of course, the pitch. I'm going to create a little pattern. The first step will be pitched up by an octave, the second up by 2 octaves, then maybe up a 4th. Oh, that's kind of cool. Of course, for most of this pattern, the effect isn't even turned on. Let's try to fix that. One cool thing about this pedal is that each channel can have a different length of sequence. For example, this pattern now only has 5 steps in it. Oh, and we can also change the speed. That seems a bit slow. Let's speed it up. Oh, that's much better. Let's turn the reverb back on. It's beautiful. As you can see, the MESS is sort of a sonic laboratory. It's funny, I've had this thing for maybe 9 days now, and I still feel like I've barely scratched the surface of what it can do. This pedal that I have in front of me is a pre-release unit, and when they originally sent it to me, it didn't have very many presets on it. I think that was useful for me because I had to leave my comfort zone. I had to just sit there coming up with rhythms and thinking about which effects might sound good combined together. Sometimes the experiments are a huge success, other times not so much, but it's a lot of fun either way. Up till now, we've only heard this pedal with a synthesizer. Of course, it can also be used as a guitar pedal. So let's try that. Here's what the guitar sounds like through that same preset. Okay, let's start a new preset. We'll start by choosing an effect for slot 1. Some of the effects on the MESS are just sort of like the usual suspects: chorus, reverb, delay, etc. But there are a few that are really unique to this pedal. There are 2 granular modes. The first one is called Granular Burst, which samples the input continuously. The second granular mode is the particle sampler, and it actually uses the sequencer to determine when it should sample. I'm going to tap one of these steps. By the way, if you want an effect to last longer than just one step, you hold the first step and then you press down on the step you want it to end, and the effect will extend for that entire length of time. Let's hear this. You see, every time the playhead passes over that first step, it's going to take a fresh sample. And then it's just going to keep repeating that sample until it hits another trigger point. Another effect that's worth mentioning is the micro looper. It's similar to the particle sampler, but it deals with larger chunks of sound, and you can manipulate them differently. Specifically, you can change pitch. If you stack multiple loopers at the same time, the effect can be beautiful and shimmery, or just really glitchy and wild. Every time I make a sound that I like, I save the preset, and then a few days later, I'll come back and I'll try it with a different instrument. In fact, let's do that right now. Of course, no David Hilowitz pedal video would be complete without at least one ancient Casio keyboard making an appearance. I'm especially partial to the PT-10. Its sounds are so basic, so primitive, that you can always tell exactly what the effect is doing. Maybe let's try that little Panasonic mini organ. I like that. It has sort of a 70s krautrock vibe to it. I have this one preset that I made yesterday called Troubled Harbor. I had it in my head that it would sound really good with plucked strings, so I mic'd up this ukulele. Of course, this ukulele sounds janky to start with. And the effect only adds to that. Maybe let's try working with samples. I have this EMU Proteus. If you don't know what this is, it's a sample-based synthesizer from 1991. Once computers became powerful enough to play back samples, most people felt that units like this were obsolete. Oh wow, I think this is my favorite so far. The patch that I've selected is called Pizzicato Basses, by the way. I'm going to switch to vibraphone. Now woodwinds. I really like that. Each patch that I make with it sounds radically different from the previous. I feel like I'm sort of careening from one dream to the next. I feel like this pedal has single-handedly revived my love of the EMU Proteus. Wow, that's really nice. Gotta make a note to actually use this sound. The way this preset works is it's a delay that's sequenced with a 4-step sequence, and every 4th step has a slightly different delay time, which is how come there's that pitch warble. Just in case you're curious, this is what the dry signal coming out of the Proteus sounds like. So yeah, the pedal is changing the sound a lot. Okay, let's turn the effect back up. Overall, I really like this pedal. Not that that's surprising. I have a long personal history with this concept. Many of you will know that I released a VST plugin last year called Refractions, and that's sort of like a sequenced pitch shifter delay kind of thing. This is very much in the same vein, although instead of just being pitch shifting and delay, it's dozens and dozens of effects. I should say that given how open-ended this thing is, I'm pretty eager to see somebody else make a YouTube video about it, because I'm pretty sure that the sounds featured in their video would be completely different than what I came up with. And that's kind of a great thing, the sign of a really flexible system. Okay, I think that's it. See you soon.